be storming, hoping everything clear up by the morning. Niggas tell the lies, so I gotta be on.
I honestly believe that 2K19 might be the best 2K in recent history. Okay, YouTube, I know you guys have been checking out what's on Twitter. Mike Wang has been blessing it with the 2K19 information. As you can see, for the past year, 2K18 and 17, those are probably some of the worst 2Ks that we've recently had, especially 18. That was utterly trash. It was garbage. Unplayable. I hardly played that game. It was garbage. But I do love the 2K community, and I have hope that it can be revived. And by the things that Mike Wang is saying on Twitter, I actually have hope for this community, and I think we're going up with 2K19. I think it's actually going to be a good game. By the way, this is IamStorm, and this is my first official YouTube video. But anyways, let's get straight into the news. One of the things that I've been seeing on Mike Wang's Twitter is about the 2K19 shooting. This shooting system that he's trying to develop, he's asking the community what we think should be more influential: openness and shot quality, or shot timing. Personally, I think that openness and shot quality is or should be a little more influential than shot timing, although a lot of the community is saying shot timing should be more influential because we're trying to make a more competitive game. I think that openness and shot quality will do that, but to a greater extent, because openness and shot quality shows ball IQ, which is something that 2K18 they did not care about at all. Most of the shots that people were making were either contested, slightly contested, heavies. That's what we were making most of the time. Open shots you would miss open shots. That's the crazy thing. So I think if they did implement this into 2K19, it would make the game competitive. Those who took open shots would make them more than those who took a little bit more, and then those who took heavily contested and smothered should hardly be making shots unless they have a badge that will lower it to if you're taking a heavily contested shot and you have mid-range dead eye, I guess that should lower it to slightly contested, if you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I actually do agree that shot timing should be influential, obviously, especially for part and pro-am players. That is gives it another edge, but I don't think that should be the most influential part. I think openness and shot quality should be a little more influential than the shot timing. Another thing that I've seen on his Twitter is about the dribbling, and this is actually a big thing that he put on Twitter. He's basically confirming the death of dribble gods. There's no more dribble gods in 2K19. They're gone. It's over. Yeah, had your fun at 18, spamming and jumping all around, wasting the shot clock. It's done. I do build up personally. I think that is great. This is a good thing that's happening for the 2K community. Even though I'm a point guard, I understand that if I do 2 or 3 combos and I didn't get anything, I'm not going to continue dribbling for 10 more seconds to force an ankle break or force to make myself score. I could give up the rock, pass the ball. There's an A button for a reason. You cannot be dribbling for the whole 24 shot clock time. It's annoying. I hate players like that. That's most of the time, because I made a 6'4" point guard last year. I was a shooting guard in Pro-Am, so I did not get to bring the ball up court. And what the point guard did? Turnovers by spamming the dribbles. He was spamming dribble combos, think he was a dribble god, and he was trash. That's what happened every single time. That's why I did not play 18. I could not play with these randoms. These randoms were killing me. But to see that they're actually going to take this out in 19, I think this is another good step. First, the shooting. That's another good step. And dribbling now. That's another good thing. For people who are spamming, I guess you could try and be a dribble god, but to a certain extent. You do a few combos and you could pass the rock. Because if you don't, the fatigue this year, Mike Wang is saying, if you're spamming it and you're a tier 3 dribbler, it's going to drop down to tier 2. If you're spamming it spamming combos at a tier 2, it's going to drop down to tier 1. And once you're in tier 1, you're going to start to fumble, and it's basically an automatic turnover. So dribble gods, you're going to have to find a way to play this year. 2K19 might not be the game for you. Another thing that I've seen on his Twitter is the takeover system, and it's actually really confusing because I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about, attributes could go up to 121 this year, which is crazy. Curry got a 99 in 2K18, so if I have a 121, I think I'm supposed to be making shots from full court. I'm not supposed to miss. So they have to do. I think it's not that simple. There's something behind it. Either it's gonna be harder to make shots at like 89, 90s. Those shots that you'll be making with that overall in 2K18 might be lower. Your percentage might be lower than those in 19 now. 19, if you have an 80, it might be like a 70 and 18. So I think that there's something behind that takeover system. But he said it's plus 10 to your primary and plus 5. I know a lot of people think it's 12 and 6, but he recently updated it on his Twitter. It's a plus 5 to primary and a plus 10 to primary and a plus 5 to secondary. So if you're a sharp maker, primary playmaking, secondary sharpshooter, you're gonna have a 10 to all your ball handling, passing, all the playmaking stats. And then for your secondary stuff, you're gonna get a plus 5. So you're shooting all your shooting stuff from your sharpshooting secondary, that's gonna be plus 5. So yeah, that seems pretty cool. I think it's something similar to 17's grand badge, but he did say it's going to be a lot harder to achieve. So like in 17, you could get grand badge 2, maybe 3 if you're a really good player, 3 times a game. But with this, I think you're only going to be able to get it once, which makes sense. So like if you're the playmaker for the team, you get your takeover system activated, passing the ball a lot, because you're going to have to play to your role. You have to pass the ball a lot. A shooter, you're going to have to hit open shots, hit your shots for you to go into that system where you could just start greening everything. Every shot you take, going in. I wonder how long you could be able to have the takeover system. I wonder, like, say if you make a few shots and you activate that system, is it going to still be there if you continue making shots, or you just have it for a set amount of time and then it goes away? That's another thing I hope Mike Wang, you guys should tweet at Mike Wang, asking him stuff like that. And the last thing that I want to talk about is one of the most exciting things I've seen: defense. The defense in 2K19, they're saying it's gonna be actual, like you could actually play defense. Your player is not gonna get blown by every possession. You're not gonna be jumping around looking like an idiot. If you could actually time what the the moves that your opponent is gonna take, you're going to stop them. You're gonna make them fumble the ball. You're gonna make them pick the ball up. They're gonna stop their dribble. So that's another important thing. I also want to see more about the paint defense, because in 2K18 the paint defense was horrible. It was trash. The centers were just dunking on everybody. If you made a post scoring center, you're dunking over everybody. It doesn't matter what the other player's build is. But talking about that reminds me, I've seen on his Twitter, on Mike Wang's Twitter, he talked about, hold on, I don't think it was Mike Wang, but it was one of the devs. Tell me in the comments, I'm not sure. But one of the devs said the max weight this year is, what was it? Max weight this year, I think, is 240, something like that. Well, it's a lot lower than last year. I think it's 50 pounds lower than the max of last year. So the last year was 340. So this year I think it's 290. That's the max weight a player could have, and that's ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't think no centers in the NBA weigh that much. Most centers are hitting, like, if you want to be a tanky, you want to be dominating the paint, a Shaq type player, you can't be that anymore, because now you're going to get held up by almost every other player. A big small forward could stop you in the paint now. That's a good, but it's also a bad thing, because there's not going to be any dominating centers in the game. And that's it. That's all I have for today. Check out my other videos. I have like my intro, outro. I will be doing videos on how to start up a new YouTube, like with a low budget. If you guys want me to do stuff like that, tell me in the comments. Give me suggestions to things I can do. And this is your boy Storm, and I'm out.
Shout out my label, that's me. I'm in this bitch with TB. I'm in this bitch with 4 tray. I just pulled up me a A. Real nigga all in my face. 500 racks in my safe. 500 racks to the plug. what you know about showing love.